Good day, everybody. I am going to show you how to do a spelling exercise in this today's Flash video lesson. What I'm gonna do is I'll allow the user to see the color which I've just created. I've created a very simple shape and it's blue color. I'll allow the user to enter in a dynamic text box the name of the color, which is blue. The user should be able to write BLUE over here and then press enter. Now as soon as the user presses enter, if the color is correct, I'll display message over here and I'll say that's correct, otherwise I'll say that's wrong answer. So basically what you could also do is, if it's correct, then you go to another keyframe. It's just a matter of simply replacing the script with go to and play and to a certain frame like 15 or 25. You could say 15 is the correct and you'll display message of congratulations, and 25 is wrong. And if it's wrong, the spelling which the user has keyed in, then go to 25 and stop there or play there, whatever. So that's another way of doing it, but I'm going to show you how to do the exact base core logic. So let's look at this. This is obviously blue color, and what I want the user to do, let me just get rid of this. What I want the user to do is to spell this color, which is blue or turquoise, whatever you want to call it. So what I do is I have created this basic shape. Obviously it doesn't need to have a name. This is a static text. It's called spell the color, and then there is another input text which I've created over here called user txt, whatever the user writes, and then there's a dynamic text over here and it's called wrong or correct txt, whatever. So it should be really msg message txt. That's something which makes more sense. So whatever the message I want to show, if it's correct or wrong, I display it over here. So this is an input field, this is an output field for dynamic text. Now this can also be done through dynamic. So what you do is you read the key codes which the user is entering, and then you write it dynamically on the dynamic text box. There's all the different ways to do this. So all I need to do is for the user to write over here BLUE. If it's correct spelling, it should show a message that's correct, otherwise show a message that's wrong. So let's start programming. I'll create a new layer and I'll call it my actions layer or scripts layer, although you can do in the same layer also, but to separate shapes and drawings with the script, I create a new layer, go to actions, and now I'm gonna start coding. So basically what I do is whenever I need to listen to the keyboard event, so I add a listener to the stage. So what I do is add event listener, and for the purpose of saving excuse me, spelling mistakes, just go with the suggestions. So it has E and L capital, and here I'm gonna write you all remember keyboard event. There's two types of keyboard events. Keyboard down is what I am going with now. Keyboard event dot key down is the event I'm going for. The other one is key up, which I'm not using now. Keyboard down, sorry. You can use key up over here also if you like. I don't think that really matters, because when you use key down, if you want to press a key and you want the computer to continuously write that key in a loop, or unless and until you remove your finger, that's when you use key down. So key down, and then I'm gonna declare the method name. So I'll say check spelling, and that's all. So I have one method and I've declared my keyboard event key down, so that whenever the user presses a key, we go and check the spelling. Okay, so what does the check spelling function do, or the method do? It basically reads the key and then compares it with a string called blue. So what I will do is I will just declare over here event keyboard event, yes, this one, and you'll see it would automatically import this event class over here, and it's not returning anything, so we'll just write here void, and that's how my method is declared. So now I'll declare over here a variable which will know the correct spelling. So I'll say correct spelling is what? BLUE, and then I'm gonna check. Right, this is the correct spelling. Now what I will do is I will keep writing whatever the user has pressed. I will keep writing that on the dynamic text field. So if you see on the input text field, so if you see, this is an input text field over here, and it's called user txt. For whatever the user has written, I want it to be appearing over here. So whatever the user writes, I want it to be appearing over here continuously. So once it is written, I expect the user to hit enter. So if you go to the key codes, you will know the key code for enter, pressing enter, is 13. So I'll wait for that event and say if the event key code is 13, which is if the user has pressed enter, that means the user has finished entering BLUE, then I will go and then find out that if the user, whatever the user has entered, is equal to BLUE. So let's find that out. If correct spelling is equal to user txt.text, meaning correct spelling BLUE is the same as whatever the user has entered. So BLUE and BLUE both side, sorry, yeah, if we need to find this out in an if statement, so that we find out, so that we know that this is the correct spelling which the user has entered. So if it's a correct spelling, BLUE and BLUE on both sides, that's the reason we're using double equals over here, not assignment equals. Then we want to show a message over here called that's correct. So I'll just display this message on the message txt. Text is equal to single equals this time, because we are assigning that's, or that is correct. And if it's not correct, then we need to show another message. Else message txt dot text is equal to wrong answer. So that's our basic program. What it should do is it should allow the user to write some spelling, and if it's correct, the user will hit whatever the user writes, hit enter. If it's correct, then we'll just display this message, that's correct. Otherwise we'll display this message, wrong answer. So let's try running that. So we have a text field over here. It would help if you create a static field over here also, and call it have this text over it, please enter the spelling. So I'll write the correct spelling first, BLUE, and hit enter. That is correct. Now I'm going to write the wrong spelling, so I'll say BBLUE, wrong answer. So hopefully you would understand. So another way of doing this, if you've understood this first way of doing the same thing, which is writing the spelling in this text box, press enter and you find out that's correct. If you don't want it to be an input field, there's another way of doing this as a dynamic field. So I'm going to change this from input to dynamic, so that whenever I press anything on the stage, it should add that over here on the dynamic field. So regardless I've written the correct spelling or the wrong spelling, it should keep on adding, and only when I press enter, like I'm doing now, it should then just test that if it is the correct spelling or not. But I don't want it to do it through the input, to tie the input from a keyboard to the input field. I want it to the stage to listen to the keyboard events, and then I want it to be written directly. So what I will do is I will just keep on appending. Appending means adding to the to this text field, which is user txt. So it's not a text input field anymore, it's a dynamic text field now. So what I will do is basically whenever the user enters any key, B, L, U, E, every time the user enters, it comes here, and it checks that if I've pressed the enter key. If not, then do what? Then do nothing basically up till now. So that now the code I'm going to write now, which will make sense, that if it's not an enter, then please go and add it to whatever the value of the user text is. So I'm gonna do that, user txt dot append text. So what you can do is you can do user txt. I think you've seen something like this before. User txt dot text is equal to user txt dot text plus the new character code, whatever the user has written. That's one way of doing it, but a more efficient way just to add to the existing text is called append text. So I'll write append text here, and string dot from char code. What this is doing is that it is reading the character code of whatever the user has entered, and then converting it to string, and then adding it back to the user txt. So from char code event dot char code. So I will read the char code from the event and convert it into a string. So string dot from char code will create a string from the char code. Let me just close this bracket and put semicolon here. Yeah, so now this is what it will do. It will keep on adding whatever I write over here without me having to create an input text field. So let's test this. So I'm not clicking anywhere, I'm just typing GREN, and I keep on typing BLUE, etc., etc. Depends upon whatever the length you have given to this text box, the input text box. And notice I'm pressing backspace, etc. So this will not work because backspace, there is a special handling of backspace. Let's enter. When I press enter, it says wrong answer. Okay, so let's change this to something else. It doesn't work like this. So yeah, so I need to close this, and because I have not added the support for backspace yet, so I restart and I write blue now, BLUE, enter. That's correct. Okay, that's another way of doing it if you are using the input the dynamic field instead of the input field. Okay, thank you very much. Hope you understood and enjoyed. Thank you.